Hello and happy New Year's to everyone out there. I appreciate you for watching my videos and subscribe and leave comments. I appreciate it all. I am getting down to great information about gardening. Oh, it feels so good. I can't wait to get started. I'm saving right now my milk jugs because I refuse to go to dollar store and buy containers that don't fit properly what I'm trying to do with them, and also to waste money. I don't believe in that. So what I'm doing is I'm collecting milk jugs, and so far I think I have three of them, and I might grab a few more. But the milk jugs will be used to winter sow to start seeds in the containers. And I like starting seeds in these containers because from my experience, they all turn out extremely well. It's called winter sowing. And there's a ton of videos out there that show you how. But there's one lady that I don't know her name, but she really shows you detailed instructions on what to do. The only thing I'm concerned about, and not really, is I want to come up with a really different type of soil mix. There's a gentleman, I don't know his name, and he uses sand at the bottom of his container. They're called they're called little starter plants, and he puts sand at the bottom, a plate up a construction sand he called construction. Yeah, and I could get a bag of sand, one bag of sand for the. Here's what I plan on doing this year. I plan on buying one bag of sand, and I will grow a whole wealth of different types of food. All I'm using the sand for is at the bottom of the container. The sand will be put there, and then the regular soil mix will go on top. And that way, when my roots grow down through, they can actually just grow and be able to get right into the water um, the way I want it to be, drinking plenty of water as needed. Um, some people are using cups. I'm gonna use this cup here as an example. I don't want to show the labeling on it, but right here, I'll put my hole here, and they'll be able to drink down as needed. But I don't need to put the holes under the bottom where the water runs through and right back out. I don't want to do that. Cups. Um, I could get the cups from Walmart, the styrofoam 16-ounce cups, 10-ounce cups to do what I need to do with starting my seeds. I am still uh, telling people Happy New Year's. Sue Miller. Haven't seen you in many years. And you already know what happened to me. I saw that message. Thank you for leaving that. God, it was weird. I've never been in a car accident like that before. I was a kid, I got, shook up once. But this was horrific. Imagine someone with my speaking voice not being able to speak properly. I had a lisp at the end of my after the accident, which led me to believe I had some kind of stroke or something. But I think what happened was with the brain bleeds I had was like three of those, and that created a problem. And it was all, put it like this: they emergency rushed me in, operated on just about everything they could find that night: a feet, a hip, um, shoulder, lungs, some parts of the heart. They just worked on me to pull me back together, and they did it. And I met three of the firefighters that absolutely helped bring me back, and they told me things. And I believe that they're the experts. He said, when we closed the ambulance door that night, he said, I didn't think we'd be seeing you anymore because you were pretty, you was pretty beat up. And that's what he told me. It was two of them that told me that. And another one told me that I told him, I said, my car was really tore up. I saw it. And they said, you were really tore up that night. And I would think about it, I was just headed to work. But anyway, I digress. Thank you for sending me a message there, Miss Sue Miller. And I am here to say uh, today. Oh, wait a minute! I got to tell you this. I am feeling better. My body is, but it took so long for my body to start healing like it should. Oh my goodness, yeah, and all that therapy every day in the hospital, every day therapy, 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 therapy. They had me so much. I thought I could. I was like, oh my God, they're giving this to me every day. And the doctor said he liked my attitude. He said, you're going to be okay. He said, I like your attitude. He meant that I kept fighting because I said, one thing I want to do when I leave out of here is I want to walk. I want to walk. I can't give that up. And when I asked them whether I'm going to walk again, they said, time will tell. We don't know. Um, but just keep on with the program we got you on, and we'll see as time pours on. So you must be the right man. Well, I'll put it like this. I don't know if I'm the bionic man, but I will say this. You know those metal detectors that they use at the courthouse or jails or whatever? Now when I move one through anywhere, my chest, it buzzes, back of my neck buzzes, my feet buzz, my hip buzz, and I'm like, oh my God, how much metal they got in me? And when I saw a video, not a video, I keep saying video. When I saw a what was it called? X-ray. I saw the X-ray and I didn't believe that was me. I said, "What is that, doc?" He said, "Oh, those are the screws that are in your hip." I said, "What?" And they were long screws that was in the hip. But anyway, my husband held one brain bleed, and I cannot imagine. Wait a minute. Let's see. You said your husband had one brain bleed, and I cannot imagine. Yep, and I had three that night. Oh my goodness. And I couldn't remember stuff when it first happened. I couldn't remember things. Where I worked, where I lived. Um, it was coming back to me each time. It was coming back slowly. It was coming back slowly. I couldn't remember stuff. People names I worked with. I couldn't remember all of that. But now I can remember them, and I know where I live. And it all started pouring back to me. Um, it kept pouring back. It kept coming back to me. But when I started feeling more normal, I started wanting to do things that I did before. I wanted to get back to gardening. I wanted to get back to going on the internet and making videos and that sort of thing. And I said, I'm coming back to myself. Um, I gotta say it. Um, I lost some seeds. They were called big gems because I grew big gems last year, and I when I grew the seeds, I took these seeds and put them in my seed tray, and I can't find them. And they're in little packs. I mean, and I got to go back in there and look because I mean, it was a whole bunch of seeds. I saved a whole bunch of seeds. I let the peppers go all the way to maturity, which means that they went from green to red. But Big Jim, I got to tell you, folks, if you haven't grown any Big Jim, I want people to leave a message on here. If you grew Big Jim, or you're thinking about growing Big Jim, Big Jim is a long. Let me see if I can get this. Can't get my hand on. It's a long pepper, and it's got a really nice flavor. Is it hot? Yes, but it's not so hot you can't eat it. But they call Big Jims, and they're fascinating because they're beautiful, shiny green or beautiful red. Uh, they the plant grows abundant peppers. Big Jim. You'll like them in tacos. You'll like them in any kind of stews that you may make or whatever. It's a beautiful thing. Big Jim pepper is incredible. So now what I'm doing is I'm looking for those seeds. But I was able to find a pack of Big Jims in my seeds that were I bought because I kept buying. See, when I buy seeds, the one thing I'm guilty of, instead of looking through my seed packs and seeing if I already have that seed, I won't do that. I'll just go, oh, go ahead and get it because you don't have it. And then I'll get it and found out I have 2 or 3 packs of it because I never went through the seed pack. So, and then what I do with my seeds is that I overseed. I don't put one seed in one hole. That's back what I used to do back in the day. So if that one seed doesn't take, you just wasted time and you wasted that space. That's what you did. I don't like doing that. I'll put, if it's peppers, I'll put 2 seeds in each hole, sometimes 3 seeds in each hole, depending on how old the seeds are. And that way I'll have all 3 come up, or 2 come up, or 1 come up. But I will not waste time not putting the right amount of seeds in there. I also grow the seeds together, which means I will put 2 seeds in each hole because peppers grow better when they companion with another pepper plant. For some reason, for me, they do better. I also prune my pepper plants. Any yellowing leaves I take off, any of the uh, uh, I might clip the whole top off and let it grow, fork out when it grow back, because that way I get more peppers. But you can just about prune a majority of plants that are that are vegetables. You can prune the heck out of them. You can prune these plants. Yep. And I got some fruit trees outside that eventually, when I get strong enough where I can walk around on that grass, because the grass is kind of hilly in my property, and my balance still is not where it's supposed to be. But do you now see? I said, "Will sprout for you buy more." Um, well, let me just say this to you. When I do the winter sowing, uh, they come up when it's time to come up. So I'll take a half a gallon jug. I might put 10. I might put about 10 or a little bit less seeds in that container and tape it closed with the gray tape. I think they call it masking tape. Um, I'll tape it closed, leave the cap off the top, allow it to rain in that container, allow it to snow on the container, uh, and when everything thaws out, the seeds, amazing, know when to come up. They know when to come up, and they don't come up until it's time to come up. And when they start coming up, that's when you start watching them because you want to make sure they don't get too root bound and that they don't really really tangle the roots up with each other. And it's okay to clip some of the roots away from each other and then put them right in the ground, but you don't lose time. That's the whole thing I'm saying here. You don't lose time. You grow healthy plants. You don't have to worry about hardening them off because they already harden off automatically while they're growing. Um, and when you put them in the ground, like the way I'm gonna do mine this year, I talked about this in a few videos. I scoop a shovel, flip the sod over, and then I plant right on top of that sod. And then I add the compost to it, at least 2 to 3 inches of compost. And then uh, my wood ash, I might add that. I might add not just the wood ash, but the uh, tiny bit of organic fertilizer. And when I do that, I water it in. And that's how I do it, because I'm not going to, I use the technique kind of like micro dosing as far as fertilizer goes. I put just enough fertilizer down for that plant. I don't want a bunch of fertilizer for my weeds and my grass and all that. I don't want that. Now, I leave all my roots in the ground. This is very important for me. I leave my roots in the ground uh, to help bring certain nutrients and chemicals to my seedlings. So I leave them in the ground. The grass that's in the garden, I do not get rid of that and till it all up. I don't till it all, actually. I don't get rid of the weed plants. I just simply, I might go over the top of them with a lawnmower just to knock them down some so I can have room to work. And then I go ahead, a shovel, flip the sod over, plant on top, compost, a little bit of fertilizer, some wood ash, and then I'm ready to go. Now, for me, wood ash is not difficult to get. I got a pellet stove down there, and I think I got about 40 or 50 pounds of ashes that I've been saving up. And I might as well use the ashes because here's what's happening. Uh, the pellets that done went up and cost $6 a bag or something like that. That's ridiculous. It used to be $3 or something when I first bought that stove. Now the prices are going up. I don't like that. So that being said, I said I was looking online for fruit trees, and the cost is crazy. I always winter grow in milk jugs. Oh, you already ahead of it then, Miss Sue Miller. You already ahead of it. God darn it! I'm thinking I'm still giving good information out, but that's how you do it. Because when I went to the store, I'm gonna talk about what you said about the fruit trees, but first I want to say that when the plants 2 years ago, before my injury in the car accident, um, I went to Home Depot and Lowe's. I saw one pepper plant, one single pepper plant. I think it was jalapeno, and it was almost $6 for one plant. This year it's going to be ridiculous because here's what's happening. Now that everything is going on in Washington, D.C., it will affect cost everywhere, even down to the seedlings. The people that work out on those big farm like Bernie's and all kind of places that produce these seedlings, they're going to have people go out there, trade that stuff up, ship them off to the stores when it come time for it. For the for people to put them in the stores, and these people are going to charge more because of gas, because of the people that will be doing it, as opposed to the people that used to do it. So here's what's going to happen. That's going to be a problem for us as gardeners, but not for somebody like you, Miss Miller, because you are already winter sowing. Buy your seeds right now in the dead of winter. If there are any seeds you want or need, buy them now. Buy heirloom seeds if you can, because heirloom seeds can be replanted to grow the exact plant it came from. You don't want hybrids. Hybrid plant seeds, you sometimes grow a great plant, but then you can grow one that don't taste like or look like what you planted. Man-made plants, in other words. So back here where you wrote here, I was looking online for fruit trees, and the cost is crazy. I say I also winter sow in jugs. Um, I try to subscribe to some of the fruit tree sites, and the reason why I do that is so if they're running any kind of sales, they'll send me an email saying, uh, uh, "Stock Brothers, 20% off on fruit trees or whatever," and you get that. Um, and so I have all the fruit trees I need, but if I wanted to, well, I did want to replace uh, one tree, which is called it's an apple tree called a pink lady. I have one pink lady on my property, and the pink lady is an incredible tasting apple to me. So I got it. But if something happened to it, I only have one. It's growing quite well and it's healthy. But what if something happened to it? So I have a whole lot of trees in my yard that are backups. Honey Crisp, I got that because that's a very expensive apple. Um, and I got the Granny Smith, which cross pollinates with a number of different apple trees, and it is a good tasting apple for making pies and that sort of thing out of. So um, I got that, and I also got the. See, I mentioned Granny Smith, Honeycrisp, and it was another one. I can't think of it right now. Um, I can't think of it right now. The apple tree. I've had them so many years, and I don't have a name written down right in front of me. But I know one's a Granny Smith. One is Fuji. That's it, Fuji. I love Fuji apples. A lady gave me a Fuji apple one day at work, and I ate it, and it was absolutely incredible. And I went back to her and I said, "What kind of apple is this?" She said, "It's a farmer that grows these apples, and he gave me some of the apples." And she said, "I believe it's called a Fuji." I said, "Okay, thank you." Went to the store, bought a Fuji, Granny Smith, and Honey Crisp, and they were like $3 and some change. They're back in the day though, $3 some change for um, the three apples. And I said, when I laid them up there on the counter, she said that'll be 316. I said, no, no, I just ordered the three apples. She said, yeah, 316. I said, wow, $1 and something a piece for an apple. I bought them, and I ate these apples headed to work. And I thought about all the chemicals that they put in this apple. I thought about the cost of these apples, and I said, oh no, no, no. I said I will find a way to uh, get apples. And I went online. I started looking around, and I kept seeing this one word. They kept saying dwarf fruit trees, dwarf apple trees. I said, dwarf? What is a dwarf? And I did some research on it, told me that a dwarf is a tree that's two trees are connected together in a rootstock and a scion. And these trees grow together to create a smaller version of that tree, which will grow the exact fruit from the original tree. So I said, okay, that sounds interesting. How big will they get? I looked it up and it said, some of them said 4 feet across, about 8 to 10 feet tall. I said, okay, I can handle that. let me tell you something. They lie to you when they say that. My soil is so potent that I hope I'm saying that right. Potent. Mm, they strong. And so what happened was, um, the tree absolutely, beyond a shadow of a doubt, I got trees that are dwarfs that I bought at Stock Brothers, that I bought at other companies. Some of the trees over 23 feet tall. Especially, I bought one tree from a company that's closed down, and they actually contacted me because they wanted to use my video, one of my videos, in a court case. And they said, can we use that video? I said, yeah. They said, we're going to send up a letter for you to sign stating that we can use this video. I said, no, ain't no problem. Go ahead and use it. So I said, no, we got to do that. Send you up there. They never sent it to me anyway. They used the video in court. And what happened was I showed an unboxing, and they used to send me dead trees in the mail. They should mix up the trees. I would say, give me a Bartlett pear, give me a burgundy plum, and they would always sent the wrong thing. They always sent the wrong thing. A great majority of the time, they always sent the wrong thing. And then I say, well, look, you need to replace these because these are not the trees I wanted. They sent me a tree that they said was a Bartlett pear. It had one single root on it that long. One single root. The tree was $10. And I called them up and I said, what kind of trees are these you're sending me? I mean, they have no roots on them. Some of them actually didn't have any roots. She said, put it in the ground and just see what it does. If it dies, I'll send you another one next year. Because all our trees have pretty much been ordered this year. I said, okay. I'll put it in the ground, and God, that tree survived. It absolutely survived. I couldn't believe it survived. I watered it, I watched it, and for the longest time, I said, this tree's dead. I said, this tree hasn't moved and grown and created anything. It's just a stick in the ground. I said, it's been in there for months like that. And then one day I looked real close to it, and I saw a green, small, what looked like a pimple on it. And I looked at it, I said, oh my God, it's trying to grow. And I left it alone. Then I came out a few weeks later. It was a branch that was about that long. And then it grew and it grew and it grew. Then it started growing out scaffold branches. Next thing I know, I said, I got it. I said, this tree is gonna make it. And one day, 4 or 5 years later, it gave me a whole tree full of plums. I mean, for peaches, pears. Excuse me, pears. But Stock Brothers is one place I called. They sell you quality trees. Back then they were $25 a piece, and I considered that high. And then the tree company that I used to go to was $10 trees. They shut them down, but all they did really was switch their name out and went back under another name. But I wouldn't mess with them because they had a stack of customers that were complaining about their service, the quality of the trees, and that video I made that showed them dead trees coming out of that box. They used that in court because they said, "Oh my God!" They said, "Look at that! They did those are dead sticks," and somebody put them in a bag and sent them to me. Looking at them, you could see they were dead. They had no roots on them. They were all black. I said, "Yeah, these are dead trees. They dead. They not even worth putting in the ground." They had mold all over them. I said, "Yeah, this is garbage." I said, "I want an apple tree like the one in the photo behind you." Oh my God. Okay, I got you here. You said you want an apple tree like the one in this photo behind me. I don't know what kind of apple tree that is, but I will say this. Look around, but if push comes to shove, Stock Brothers. And I know their trees is high as hell on average. They high. But I bought a tree from them one time, the pink lady, and I wish I'd have been smarter and bought like 2 from them when I was buying them, because they were only $8 a piece. They had a sale on them. They were $8 a piece. Pink lady, and I bought it. I only bought one, trying to be cheap. I bought one, and I wish I'd have bought 2. And it was a dwarf, and I didn't buy but just one. And that is a one sweet, crunchy, sweet apple called a pink lady. Then they got another one. If you want apple trees, Stock Brothers really specialize in apple trees. They just sell a whole bunch of apple trees. That's what they sell. Because the majority of their trees are apple trees. But there's one other tree I would like to get, and it's called a pomegranate tree. But the problem with the pomegranate, if you're getting the wonderful, I'm in zone 7B. The pomegranate does not grow well when you start getting around 7s and 6s. I mean, they don't like that kind of real deep cold. They don't like it. They call them hardy kiwi. I had 2 kiwi plants I put out there, and I said, "Oh, I got it now." I bought one from Lowe's, and I said, "Yeah, this is a smart thing to do, to buy the tree from them." Damn, I did buy that. Wonder what happened to it. I got so much stuff growing in my yard, it could be out there, and I'm not able to see it. But they were kiwi, and I had one out there growing beautifully. It was putting kiwi on. Once they get about 2 years old, the kiwi plants start growing kiwi, and I had the kiwis on there, and I said, "Yeah, this is getting better and better." Beautiful looking vine. It was growing, and then one day, one winter, it got down to about 9 degrees. That was the end of that plant. 9 degrees. Now, at the end of the year, up here in Maryland, when they're selling the trees, they send all those trees back at the end of the year, at the end of the what they call it, spring growing season, instead of just marking the prices down. Because I used to go into the stores, to Lowe's and Home Depot, and they'd be marking the prices down. I would buy. I would go in there. I know who to talk to. I know what to say, and I say, "Listen, you got a bunch of trees. I mean, you got a bunch of plants over there. They're dying. No, they haven't been watered, anything like that. They got them on a rack where they get ready to set them up for the garbage, or they're gonna send them back to the company." And I said, "Listen, you got some plants over there, they're all brown and everything." I said, "Could you make me a price on one of them?" He said, "Go ahead and take them $1 a piece." That's what he said. He said, "Tell them." Sharon said to mark them down to $1. I went up there. I got me 2 different types of raspberry, blackberry, blueberry plants. I had all those things, and I went right up to the counter, gave them about $10, and I had eight, about 8 of some plants, and I was all set. Got them home, soaked them for about 2 hours to get them hydrated and everything, and I stuck them suckers right in the ground, and I put around them that homemade good compost. Please, you can't tell me anything. Them plants responded well. They responded well. They was almost jumping out of the ground trying to grow. So that's basically what I wanted to say about that. Nothing like saving money in the garden. And to think about it, this year, I'm only thinking of buying a bag of sand. Now, the way my back and legs and stuff are all hurt up behind the accident, my biggest deal will be getting that bag home. Oh, wait a minute. I did buy me a hand truck. Oh, if I had to take one, it's embarrassing, but if I had to take one bag of 40-pound bag of sand and tie it to a dolly, I'll do that. Drive it on through, put it up in the vehicle, and go on about my business. And get home, roll it to the back of the yard, put it in the location I want it, and then I'll start using it as I need it. There you go. Sand. Sand. I'll tell you, because a lot of people this year, now you listen to me closely, are going to be trying to grow food. And the stores are already hip to this. They know that the food with the new government we have going in place, everything will be marked up. Everything. The Creek Walker. Hello, how you doing? The store. Wait a minute. The stores maybe help you to load it. Oh, okay, okay, that's right. I never see. I'm a guy, and I never thought about asking. Uh, I'm just an old man. Help me bring this bag to the car, young man. You know, they say he can't be. He got to be kidding. That's a 40-pound bag. Yeah, but my back is hurt, and I'll be out there trying to lift it. I'll be done fell. So it's either that. I like your idea though. I like your idea. It's either that or bring the dolly. So when I get it home, I can still roll the dolly around. Hey, look, I got one of these dollies. You got to see it. They designed a dolly that's designed for going up and down stairs. It's got 3 wheels on each side. So when you hit the steps, it'll just rotate the wheels around like that and going up the steps. I like that thing. I bought it because when I go out and perform, my speakers are like 60, 60 pounds a piece. I don't want to be trying to lift those up and down. Some places I go, they got stairs. Some clubs have stairs when you go in the club. I don't want to be lifting that. So the only thing I can do is put it on the dolly, roll it up, roll it down. The only thing they should have did to it is they could have somehow built a set of brakes on it, so you can grab the brakes and stop it when you're going down the steps. So it doesn't you don't just get a roll on. You got to hold that weight. But it, like I said, it's designed for stairs, and the weight capacity on it is I think 1,000 pounds. You know, but it's aluminum, lightweight. I like that. Yep, I got to tell you, I'm excited, and I got methods of growing this year that are going to be cheap as on what. When I prune my trees, I'm gonna drop my tree cuttings inside this. I bought it at Walmart. It's a chipper. It's like an electric chipper, and you drop all your wood in there, grind them down, and you can put them around your plants as fertilizer, and also not just fertilizer, but when it rains, if you got wood chips around your plants and they get wet, they keep the moisture right there around your plants, so that your plants don't dry out from the sun. Yep. And you're using them wood chips. You're using them, and they don't have to be dried. They don't have to be. All you gotta do is just run them through the unit, and also you can run leaves through them too. But the leaves, what I do with my leaves, if I get any leaves, they go get stacked up in a big pile, and I let them just sit there until they turn into pure black compost. And food, forest, permaculture said to me, I had a tree cut, and I had them bring all the wood chips. I said, leave them all in my yard. And and some of them not used to that. They go, huh, what? But there's over 2 or 3 thousand pounds of wood chips. I said, yeah, leave them back there in their pile right over there. And he left them. And I said, how can I use these? It was all tangled up with some kind of vine that's called ivory. And Food Farms Permaculture said, I see you got a lot of some other plant in there with the wood. He said, don't put those in your garden because you'll just be planting all that stuff everywhere. Let it sit up for about a year. He said, and then use it. Shoot, I had that thing sitting for about 2 years. Ever since I got hurt with my back, I let it sit for 2 years. And right now, if you go take a shovel and stick down in there, you can't even tell it was ever wood chips. It just looks like pure black soil. And when you grow your seedlings out, you grow them out. And like I said, winter sowing, you keep them watered, take care of them, keep them fed. When they start getting big, and you take them out and you stick them in. Like I said, I cut my grass down low enough so I can work back there. Take a shovel, put in there, scoop it out, turn it over. When you turn that grass over, it lays against the soil and it will rot, creating warmth, creating fertilizer. And on top of that, you put on compost on top of it. Put your plant down in there, whether it be seed or whether it be not just seed, but whether it be seed or whether it be a plant. And you mark the area. Because imagine looking at it, it just looked like a green lawn with these patches that were turned over. And you do them 3 feet apart, 4 feet apart, whatever works for you, even closer. But I'm doing mine about 3 feet apart. And I'm gonna do watermelons on one side. I'm gonna stick a stake in the ground, marking it, so I know this is a row here that has the watermelon in it. This is the row here that has zucchini in it. This is the row here that has peppers in it. This is the row here that has okra in it. And that's how it's going to work. And when I grow my okra, I won't start them in winter sowing. I'll start them close enough where it get to when the soil temperatures start coming up and we start getting at least 55, 60 degrees at night, I'll start the okra. But the okra I have is interesting because I have two types of okra. I got the burgundy okra, which I bought those seeds, and you can look for them on eBay. Buy a few seeds. Don't buy a lot of seeds. Buy a few seeds. They're about $2 or $1 and something for burgundy okra. Go try to buy burgundy okra at one of these big brand name companies. What they call it? I can't think of the number of them right now. I can't think of none of the names of big companies right at this moment. But Barnes, they got one called Jonathan or something like that. But they're big brand name seed companies. I'll try to get $4 and $5 a pack for these seeds. Okra is so good for your health, and some people actually like to taste okra. I'm one of them people that like the taste of okra. But I'm growing burgundy, and I got some old seeds that I had for years. They're called what is that? Oh, spineless okra. I got those, and they grow well in here in Maryland. So I got those, and I got burgundy okra. Burgundy okra is liked because it grows fast, and when they grow, people, you got to get out there and you got to pick okra. When you get them about that long, don't wait till they get 8, 9 inches long, and they'll be hard like leather to try to cut them or eat them or whatever. In other words, you only let them grow all the way through to maturity when you're just saving the seeds. That's when you let them grow. And if you're real smart, you say, I'm going to grow these seeds and I'm going to get my money back. I'm going to put them in a pack, stick them on eBay, and sell a pack of seeds, 50 seeds for $1 or something, $2. maybe more. Because if you, like I said, if you go to the store online and you try Johnson seeds or Bernie seeds, those seeds are $4 and $5 a pack, and you're gonna get a very few seeds, 20, 30, 25 seeds maybe, and you're gonna get burned. You're gonna get burned royally. All right, good people. This has been the Morning Gardener talking his head off again, trying to get people as much information as possible. But the name of the game this year is buying your seeds early. Buy them early. Don't wait until the price goes up in the spring and summer. Because nobody's thinking about gardening right now while it's cold and winter and everything. People are thinking about one thing, their BG&E bills, Baltimore Gas and Electric. They're thinking about the car notes, the kids' braces. You need to get those seeds now from different locations. Get them. If they started stocking them in stores early. One lady was telling me that her dollar store seeds is already stocking them, and here it is, the dead of winter. So think about that. Think about that. So I got all the seeds I need. I don't need any more seeds. And actually, I'm overstocked in seeds. So have a great 2025. Thank you. You do the same now. It was good. It was good seeing you. Yep, it's good seeing you. Well, you know the picture of the cat. The cat reminded me of my cat. I just lost my cat this year. Yep. 13 years old. Yep. All right, good people. This is the Morning Gardener. And like I said, leave any feedback you want. I always answer. Or you can just subscribe to me. So when I go online, boop, you get that little pop-up telling you I'm online. This has been the Morning Gardener. All right. All right, I want to do this like this. Because I gotta I'm trying to do these shows as long as I have the thirst to do them.